Chapter 19. Vega's Chronicle. Surrounded by friends and avatars all talking over one another, it took Requiem quite some time to understand why the Inquisitor had simply not given them the book to begin with. When it appeared that everyone had run out of energy and opinions, Guillaume made one last effort to make everyone understand in his own unique way. Think of it like this. If they had just given us the book, you would never have made Wimbledon history and been attacked by a nigh on unstoppable assassin. See? You experienced and learned more this way. Guillaume was clearly very pleased with this analysis, but could not resist one final line. And I got to flatten that stupid cat, he added glibly, gesturing towards Havoc. Havoc's growl instantly removed the smile from Guillaume's face for it to be replaced with a cringe and a subtle retreat. Now, I know how it sounds, but... Guillaume didn't finish his excuses. Havoc changed into his immense tiger form and set after him to sniggers from everyone in the room. Turning to look at the book in the Inquisitor's hand, Requiem asked dejectedly, Seeing as Uracil couldn't read it, what makes you think I can? Slapping Requiem on the side of the arm, Freya snapped, What makes you think you can't? This is no time for self-doubt. Okay, I'll give it a shot. Man, you don't hold back, Requiem said timidly, rubbing his arm. Stop dawdling and tell us what it says. Still nursing his arm, Requiem held out his hand to the Inquisitor. With an amused look on his face, the Inquisitor handed over the book. Requiem cast his eyes down, jerking back suddenly. Whoa, he said in astonishment. Now, if all books were like this, even I'd start reading. Uracil could barely contain his excitement. Why? What do you see? Peering intently at the book, Requiem described what he saw. You see these etchings on the front? Beneath it are clear pages with more of these swirls and lines written in pure energy, sparkling gold and orange. They're not static. The pages seem to drift through one another. It's quite entrancing, really. Uracil scratched the side of his head. I wonder what kind of language these lines represent. It must be very ancient indeed. Looking thoughtfully at the book, Requiem replied, I don't think so. There! A page turned vivid red. Now, if only I could... Come on, that's it. To all around him, it looked like madness, but Requiem's strange grabbing and pulling motions at the air in front of him allowed him to seize the red page and pull it towards him. The swirls and lines burned into the front cover, making etchings of their own. As the markings burned through, they met those that were already on the cover, and as they did so, they formed words. With a satisfied smile, Requiem turned to Uracil and showed him the book. There you go. Not all that old, really. It's modern English. True enough, when an incomplete page was summoned forth from deep within the book, it merged with the unfinished cover to form sentences written in plain English. Go! Shouted Geo as he shot past the group, dodging Havoc's pounce. What does it say? Came another cry as he rang back past them. Freya read out aloud. The fifth gate was made to banish all those who could not coexist in the Alliance. The gate would be a blot on the utopia of the four gates, and perhaps become a symbol of defiance, in time causing others to doubt the Alliance and start an uprising. Therefore, it was built far away from any kind of civilization, in the hope that it would be lost, and the deeds carried out in its name forgotten. The fifth gate can be found caught between day and night in the darkest depths of the Amazon rainforest. Freya turned to Requiem. That's all it says? Can you grab another page? Requiem took the book from Freya and stared at its cover, sending the page back. He hunted for another glowing red page, but none appeared. He tried to grab random pages and pull them forwards, but none would obey his command. What is this? Requiem said impatiently. How am I supposed to read any more when it won't let me pull any pages? The Inquisitor roused himself in his chair and spoke with great reverence.
The book will let a chosen few read the pages they need. How it does this no one knows. Why it won't let anyone read it in its entirety is, again, a mystery. I think it is trying to tell you that you have what you need to know."
Taking the book from Requiem, Uracil peered at it. "It's all very well and good giving a riddle and saying it's in the Amazon rainforest, but it is, after all, rather large. How are we supposed to narrow it down?" Then, as if they had all shared the same thought at the very same time, they looked at Pathfinder. "What?" he snapped uneasily, feeling most discomfited by the stares. "You are the immortal who shows us the way when we're lost, aren't you?" asked Requiem. "Yes, but you're not lost, are you? Well, at least not yet." "So, you mean to tell us we have to get lost before you'll help us?" asked Uracil in exasperation. "It's back to this whole not handing it to you on a plate thing. You have to live life, you know, not get carried by it." Tearing through the group, with Havoc clawing behind, Geo said, "How about?" As he came by for a second pass, he added, "We take that carpet." Havoc was back and Geo took off again. A mighty crash made everyone wince as Havoc slid into the desk, smashing everything. Books, sparks and splinters filled the air as Geo ran back to the group, panting, determined to finish sharing his idea. "Take the carpet, fly above the rainforest, look for the hardest to reach, most unforgiving bit." A most distressed Dougal flew over to Havoc, picked him up by the scruff of his neck and flung him back towards the group. At the shame of smashing the Inquisitor's desk and being thrown by a tiny goblin, Havoc rounded back on Geo with renewed determination and pounced. Just before diving out of the way, Geo hurriedly finished. "Land, have a look around, and if we get lost, then Pathfinder can help us out. Ah!" Laughing heartily, the Inquisitor said,
"I like the plan. Very chaotic. However, with Darkstalkers on your tail, I don't think the Chaos Guild is one you should rely on."
Turning to Requiem, he gestured to the book.
"Why don't you turn the book over?"
Requiem turned the heavy metal book, not wanting to miss out. Freya and Uracil almost clashed heads as they all looked down to see a four-pointed compass etched into the back with the letters N, S, E, and W at the end of each point. An etching of a regular compass was no good to anyone, but Requiem merely needed to glimpse inside the book to see a bright red fifth point floating through the pages. As he summoned it forth, the point burned into the cover and remained a brilliant red on the back of the otherwise dark book. Sitting between the north and west points, the fifth gate was inscribed with the letter F at its tip. Geo's strained voice could be heard from a dark corner of the cavern. "Excellent! A compass! Let's take the carpet and follow that. I'll be with you in just a minute, just as soon as I shift this great big ball of fur." Requiem pondered the compass. This could be it. He may soon see the fifth gate with his very own eyes. The thought both lifted Requiem's spirits and filled him with dread. He had not given much thought to what he'd do if he actually found the fifth gate. Very little escaped Freya's attention, however, and she returned to the Inquisitor's earlier comment. "So, what was that about a Chaos Guild?"
For now, know that there are many guilds. You don't have time to recruit them all, so you're best off going with what you have," replied the Inquisitor.
Having retrieved the carpet from an exhausted and dishevelled Geo, Requiem approached the Inquisitor. "Thank you for your help, all of you. As you have said, it is us who have to act. Thus now we must take our leave."
"Very well,"
the Inquisitor replied, appreciating Requiem's newfound understanding.
"I wish you well in the journey ahead. I have no doubt that you shall come to learn all there is to know about the fifth gate."
Almost shoving Requiem to one side, Uracil was quick to take the Inquisitor's hand in both of his and shake it furiously. "Thank you ever so much. I enjoyed being here immensely. Is there any way I could ever come back?" The Inquisitor smiled.
"I have given Freya a web link and VPN pin to access the vaults online. You can use Dougal to search, and he will show the pages via webcam. If you want to spend a great deal of time searching, please drop me an email, and I will arrange for you to come here."
Uracil didn't know how to respond. His face was a mixture of delight and despair. Freya could hardly contain her amusement as she watched Uracil contemplate having access to such knowledge, but having to use the internet to get it. Leaning over to the Inquisitor's enormous ear, Freya whispered, "I will think over the advice you gave me. Thank you." Diving on Pathfinder and Havoc, Freya buried her head between them. "Thank you for everything." Looking up, teary-eyed, she quivered, "Will we ever see you again?" Havoc passed to the ball of gold string. "Here, I can't resist moving string. It's a cat thing." Patting Havoc on the shoulder, Pathfinder added, "Yeah, and you can bet that wherever Havoc is, there is also the need for me to put everything straight again." Freya brushed away a warm tear and beamed up at them as Gio came by in boxing pose. "You better brush up, you oversized kitten. I won't go so easy on you next time." Havoc growled, and Gio headed swiftly in the direction of Requiem, who was now making his way up a spiral staircase the Inquisitor had carved into the stone, as everyone waved and said their goodbyes. Once the group had left, the Immortals turned to one another. Havoc looked concerned. "This isn't like before. The Black Guild has never gotten involved." "Yeah, and since when has anyone actively used the services of a Darkstalker? That has to be insanity at its highest level," added Pathfinder, equally worried about their newfound friends. Leaning back into his massive chair, the Inquisitor looked on thoughtfully.
"Yes, this is very different. I will go to the guild house and talk this through with the others. Meanwhile, of course, our intrepid adventurers may need your help again. Stay close, but at the same time have faith in them. I think the Black Gate will have their hands full." "Shall I get Devastator? He could be very useful if we meet more Darkstalkers," asked Havoc. "No. If we find that an Akatsuki has hired the services of the Black Guild, he will be better placed to deliver our reply directly to them.